Can we make a white water lily feel luminous and watercolor without letting the petals turn flat or gray? Watch how the flower begins to appear little by little as we build the dark water around it and how we give the petals the fresh color shifts. Hi, I'm Beatriz. Welcome back to the studio. Today we're going to be painting these water lilies, and I'm going to show you the simple order that I follow in order to get dimensional white petals. I will also show you how to do these transparent water droplets on the leaf. Love the contrast and these reference pictures of the pale flowers sitting against all the deep dark water, and of course those tiny droplets catching the light. But I felt like the whole picture was too busy, so I decided to do a crop of the main flower with this path. So we're going to be building this one slowly. First the darks, then the petals, the dark shadows, and finally the water droplets. So what are we waiting for? Let's start painting. First thing that I need to do is protect just a few tiny highlights on the water droplets. For that, I'm going to be using my masking fluid. They are very small details, but we need the clean highlights in order for them to look believable. Now, if you want to paint along with me, the paint along pack for this tutorial is inside Open Studio on Patreon. I will leave the link below. So it's one little highlight there, and then a little here at the bottom next to what it was gonna be the shadow. While this dries, we are gonna go ahead and start working on the background. I'm gonna start putting the dark first, because without the darks, the petals are not gonna make much sense. We are not gonna know how dark or light to go on them. So I'm coming here with a black that I make by mixing French ultramarine and brown sienna. Another way that you can call this is negative painting, because when I put the darks in between the petals, painting around them, then my petals are starting to appear. And finally, from this last part, I'm gonna wet a little bit around here, because over here, this part is gonna be dark. I'm gonna come with my diasonate violet from Winsor & Newton, and then I'm gonna put some of those here. I am continuing to build around these edges, which this is the flower that is on top, but I want this to blend with the black. Then I go to my blacks, bring the black all the way here to the edge of this petal. So now we have purple, and then we have the blacks, right? But these two are humid. We're gonna make them blend. Come with our brush. This way the color is there. I don't know if you can see it, but it is subtle. It's not bright. Of course, every time that we have something very dark like this, we need to let it dry before we come up with more water. We're gonna continue to build the underpainting. For the leaf, the colors are gonna be sap green and green gold. And then for the petals, we're gonna start putting an underpainting with Cobalt Blue Violet by Daniel Smith. And I'm gonna use Rhodonite Genuine by Daniel Smith just because I have it and I need to use it. But don't go and buy it. You have a permanent rose, it will work, or if you have even a magenta, it will work as well. So we're gonna start by wetting. So first is the sap green. I'm trying to be careful not to bring it inside the petals, because the petals are gonna be in a different color. Now I switch to the gold green. And yes, I am gonna go over the droplets with the green. I know that this may feel wrong to you, but because the water droplets are transparent, they pick up the colors that is underneath, switching back to gold, to sap green. The only thing that I protected was the very white highlights that I needed to have on the top and at the bottom. And now it may feel like we're losing the droplets, but don't panic. This is the part where they disappear before they come back. Okay, so now I'm going to start with the very first pale layers on the petals. I'm not trying to finish them here. I'm just taking away the completely flat white and giving each area the first direction. So I'm gonna start by wetting this petal here, very pale pink. I am not trying to make the flower colorful yet. I am just giving the white the first direction. So stop in the tip, come all the way to the edge. Well, let's like that. That's all I want. I'm just gonna go with the water in the other direction because I don't want it to continue to spread. Here is when I'm using the cobalt blue violet, very, very lightly. This is where I am trying to avoid gray because gray will make the petal look tired very, very quickly. Then blend, blend, blend. I have the color in my brush. I can go ahead and put this on the one that I have here. Once again, okay, I am not trying to make this flower colorful yet. Just going with the underpainting. We're gonna bring a third color. This is my primary yellow, Hansa Yellow Live Accord in this case. This color is gonna be more near the center. So let's just wet a little bit here. Come with the yellow. And then I go with my blending brush and I put it outwards. Got a little bit of yellow here too. And I am gonna continue the same idea on all the rest of the petals. And I'm gonna speed this part a little because it's very repetitive. But the method is the same. Very pale color, clean transitions, and keeping the brightest white, the shine of the paper protected. As I'm working around the flower, I'm changing the color depending on what each petal needs. Remember, this is a white flower, but while we're painting these color shifts, it's kind of like shadows. So some of the petals are leaning warmer, like say, for example, more pink. Others are more cobalt blue violet. But everything is still very pale at this stage. The goal is not drama yet. The goal is a good, clean foundation. At this point, the flower feels soft and gentle, and that's exactly what I wanted. We just gave that the first hint of color. Instead of jumping right away to the grays in order to build shadows, I'm going through pinks, lavenders, yellows, and that's how I keep in the luminosity. So we're going to continue building this little by little. I'm going to start applying a little bit of this shadow here. And this is phthalo blue with a little bit of indigo. I'm coming with a very thin brush. And this shadow will have to get a little bit darker. But right now, if I put it next to the color, I can start seeing how dark to go on the petals because I do not want to overwork my petals. Now the blue is going on top of the green, so it starts to look a little bit like if it is green. That's okay. Like I mentioned, we will come and darken this up in a little bit. So I make a mistake. Let me show you how we can fix it. These leaves are more round, and this, it seems like the background cuts over here, but this actually should be the shadow, and the shadow of this leaf should be, or this petal should be a little bit lighter. So coming with water. I'm gonna wet over here. I am not gonna bring this to white, nor do I need to, because it is a shadow nevertheless. But I need to take all this dark. And I wait for the fibers of the paper to open. And with the tissue, and then we're gonna lift. I took quite a bit. I still a little bit too dark, so let's do it one more time. Once again, I come with the tissue and then I lift. I still got quite a bit, so very good. Okay, while this dries, which is already looking better, and you see how this is lifting my flowers. And now we can go ahead and start working more on the petals. Some of these petals, what is going to happen is we're going to blend two colors on one. For example, this yellow has already been dry. So now I can come over here, re-wet the petal, bring the cobalt blue violet. I want them to blend with the yellow, but the yellow needed to be dry. Otherwise, it would have given me mud. And what I'm going to do in this petal is I'm switching to the little bit of the pink, and then as it goes down, I can brighten it up a little bit. I'm gonna do the same thing in this one. Granted, I already have the cobalt blue out there, so now I'm just gonna drop a little of the pink blended. And this is how I'm creating soft shadows, bright shadows, that allows my flower to read as if it is white and not muddy. So this one is the pink. I'm coming with the pink. Then I'm gonna bring some of the yellow. I wanna warm this one up some. We're now moving on to the territory where these petals are casting shadows on the other petals. So these ones we wanna have a little bit of darker colors. Obviously this is the same color, the cobalt blue violet, but with more strength. And then we're gonna bring some of the pink. We're gonna have them mixed together here. And then these two we're gonna go for more to less to this edge. Let me do this one more time, and then the rest we will do it in a fast forward motion. So some people find this tedious. I love doing these repetitive either petals or whatever other things we encounter. I find them very, very relaxing. So blue violet, and then we blend. Then permanent rose over here, or whichever pink you're using. And right away, I'm gonna bring the yellow. Go with my Hansa yellow light. And the last thing that I wanna do is drop a little bit of the same color that we have over there. Bring it here. All right. So now I'm gonna continue to build the rest and fast forward motion so you can see it, but it doesn't take forever. We have our flower almost done. We just need to put these two petals. They are very dark, like I did here. And of course, we need to strain at the center of the flower. This center is where it makes it all come together. So let's just start with these ones. I'm gonna come with some of the queen gold here and there. Some burnt sienna mixed with the queen gold. And where I see it, since I have it in my brush, where I see it around here on these stamens, I'm gonna put them. I'm gonna make myself kind of like a dirty yellow or a very pale green. This is yellow ochre with a little bit of sap green. And then we're gonna go ahead and start putting some more of these stamens. And then always kind of finish them up in a pointy way. So for example, start from a point and then go down. These little touches are the ones that make our flower more realistic. Let's go ahead and start putting. These two petals are darker because obviously all of these are casting shadows. Plus these shadows, so between these and them, our flower is going to be left there even more. So I'm coming with the permanent rose, but this time I'm coming with more color. So yes, I want this color, but I also want, it has to be a little bit less vibrant. So with the colors, the diazepam purple, I bring them in. And now we come, instead of coming only with water, we're coming with the color but more diluted. Permanent rose, and instead of water, blend. I need to let this dry before I come with another color. Obviously this is too light. So to the same colors that I was having over there, brought a tiny bit of neutral tint. It's a green, but it's a little bit more on a, I guess you can call it a dirty green. Yes. I want that little tip there because this is casting a shadow here. Going back to our permanent rose, our cobalt violet, and then we're going to start dropping some of them. Remember, these are the darker ones, cobalt violet, blue violet. Then right away I come with the pink with a brush that only has water, and we start blending this. So what we're doing here is allowing the colors to blend in the paper. Coming with the same colors that I was having there, but very diluted. On the blue side, this edge, because it's the darkness, I want to drop a little bit more of the neutral tint. A little bit darker, you can say. So just bring it here too. Darker where this petal will be under. Let me drop a little bit of that color here too. While it's wet, so it blends. And now cobalt, and we're gonna start letting blend here too. For right now, I don't want to have hard edges. Here we're gonna do like a little bit of a circle. Let's just bring this more to the corner, picking a little bit of those. All of these looks almost white, so I'm coming back with that original color and make this darker. While everything is wet, I can move this and maybe I pick up a little bit of the purple, bring it a little bit there. But I think that I will a lot. The flower is now finished, and now we need to make sure that it sits naturally into the pot. For that, we're gonna come back and start doing the shadows, the cast shadows, as well as those droplets, which, by the way, they just follow a very simple system. The dark against the highlight, transition color, light area against the dark of the shadow. So let's bring them to life. Looking gorgeous. Now we're gonna go ahead and start working on the lily pad. But I don't want this to be a flat green, so we're gonna go ahead and start darken and have a few transitions. With gold green mixed with French ultramarine. I want a green that is not bright. Yes, I did put darker colors at that, and it will probably have to be even darker. But let's just start having a few transitions. More on the blues and darken even a little bit more around here. And a little bit of bronze sienna. Bronze sienna and greens give us kind of like a little bit of almost like an olive. Working fast because I want this, I don't want to have hard edges. So because of that, I had to drop the colors kind of like in a fast fashion. This part over here will be some lily pad. Now, because of the mistake that I had before, almost disappeared. So let me see if I come with the green gold, and then I add a little bit of the primary yellow. See if I can bring back a little bit of that. I think it's working. So let's bring it a little bit higher and let this dry. This edge here is gonna make it turn. So I'm going with I added to those colors a little bit of neutral tint, and then we're gonna bring it like this, like on the edge. Now what? Eventually, this other one I want it to be sharp, but this one I wanna go kind of like from more to less. Okay. So now while this is wet, I need to find myself a place that I can rest my hand. We're gonna come with the diacetyl violet from Winsor & Newton, and then gonna come with it, and I'm gonna put some of these. It's like the edges. It's fairly thick right now. These are the edges of the leaves. Okay. So then I come with magenta, and then I just, with the tip of my brush, I just blend it here. I'm very happy how this little edge has came out. And everything is dry, so it's time for us to put the cast shadows, violet, bronze sienna, and indigo. Let's start with a brush that has a very thin point. And I'm gonna start bringing it here. So let's bring the hard edge. And then this other one, I want to go from hard edge to kind of fade it out. So the hard edge is going to be only here. I'm going to blend this out. And let's just fix the shadow that it didn't come out good at the beginning, remember? So again, everything around these edges, I want clean edges and very dark. Cast shadows are always darker, closer to the object. And then we bring the darker color and we fill this up. Oh, look how good this is now. The flower is not sitting, floating anymore. I put some dark over here. I think that little yellow that I was trying to get will start be looking more like light green. Let's hope so. Let's see. Yeah, maybe should not be that far away. Probably more like this. Perfect. By the magic of everything that is next to something that looks lighter, now I got my green back. So it worked out perfect for us. Here the original green, the sap green with the green gold, but I'm gonna bring, it needs to be darker, so let me bring a little bit of blues. And also, I do have a full video where I show this water droplet method down. And I will link it here if you want to see it. But I'm going to walk you here through the whole system that I do in the other painting. So this is maybe, we can also pick up a little bit of the color here if needed. This is the colors from here. I think that this is almost ready. So my pencil mark and mark it out a little bit. The droplets always have, it's like a circle, and then we have the shadow. The shadow, the droplet should be coming maybe around here. All right, and the method, as always, we have a highlight. The darker always go on top of the light. Then we're gonna go from more to less. By the way, I need to remove this. Masking fluid, and then this is gonna be the lightest. Obviously, not this much. We're going to do something with it. I'm going to start with this one so I can have a place to rest my hand. With the darker colors. And I know that this looks very ugly, but hang with me because we're going to fix it. We have a highlight that we are saving. Into that highlight, we're going to come with the darker green. And this darker is going to be kind of like a, I don't know, like a quarter moon, would you say? And then once I have it right there, covering my highlight, we're gonna go from more to less, meaning I'm gonna bring only water, and then we're gonna start diluting that. All right. So we want to have a seamless transition, but the dark needs to be covering the highlight. So now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna ease up this transition. I'm coming with my silver Bristol bright. This is the one that I'm going to use to do that. Now, you could say that I'm going to scrub, but this is not a scrubbing brush. This is soft. This one is a scrubbing brush, and this is not as soft. As you can see, this is pretty hard. Right now, like I said, the idea is to go from more to less, and that is what is going to build the transparency. So I come with a little bit of wetness, not a whole lot. And then now I'm going to start easing this up. By easing, mean taking off the hard edge. And yes, we're going to go from more to less. So at the very bottom of the opposite of the dark is where I want to have the lighters. See how this is already giving us that transparency, meaning going from darker to the same color of the object to less. This is almost too even, so let's just continue to bring it down a little bit more. All right, I'm going to do the same thing here. Okay, now I have removed the masking fluid. Same dark colors that I was using from there, which I'm kind of running out of it, but that's okay because I don't need to paint much more. I've come with the darker color on the edge of my droplet. And this is a good time to make it more round or more oval, depending on how you want it to be. Closer, darker against light. Come with water and then start blending from more to less. So I feel like this has dried almost like the darker there and nothing here. Sometimes it happens when you put the water, sometimes the water pushes the colors out, but easy fix. You just come with the water and bring it outside once more. Our water droplets feel like they're sitting on top of the leaf. And that's what we wanted. I like that one. That one now I like it better because now I can see this difference between here and there. All right, now let's, I'm very happy with this. Let's just see if I need to do anything anywhere. Final touches. Perhaps I need to darken a little bit this shadow here. So some of the same colors that I was using to do that. Put it over there, and then I go from the opposite direction to that. Water, tap, 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 tap. perhaps here as well. Just a little darkness here will help. Anything else? Well, maybe I can darken this shadow a little bit more. I feel like the water took it away from this end, that like it's all in over there. And I like very much everything else. I can continue to look and find places to do it, but then there's wise people to know when to stop. And I like it a lot, so I'm gonna stop now. I love how delicate and luminous these petals look. We accomplished that by putting the pinks and violets instead of going for the grays, for the shadows. And also the water droplets and the few darks just gave the whole painting the right balance. If you would like to paint this alongside with me, the Paint Along pack is an open studio and Patreon. And if you would like to continue to explore some other videos about glow, I'm going to leave you here with a couple ones. As always, I thank you for being here, and I will see you in my next video.